Hi again, welcome back to True Crime with Laina. Today we're going to be talking about the death of Orsolya Gaal. This case takes place in the town of Forest Hills in the borough of Queens, New York. It is said to be one of the safest neighborhoods in New York City. Around 8 a.m. Saturday morning on April 16, 2022, someone found a suspicious duffel bag on a busy walking path of a woman. At first, they couldn't identify her. She had no ID, but they investigated. They noticed a trail, a blood trail that was over half a mile long. It led them right to the side door of a home. This trail led to Juno Street. This is where Orsolya lived with her husband and her 2 sons. This is an expensive and safe neighborhood. Nothing like this ever happens here. The police learned that the body was of 51-year-old Orsolya Gaal. The quiet neighborhood was filled with questions, terror, and worry. At first, there was no suspect. What could have happened to this woman? I'm walking up to where Orsolya's body was found at Metropolitan Avenue and Jackie Robinson Parkway. It was found right here along this fence in the duffel bag. We are walking down Juno Street right now. This is where the murder happened in the basement, and this is where Orsolya lived with her husband and her 2 sons. When someone is murdered, the spouse is almost always a suspect. For some reason, the people who you would think love the person most are also the people most likely to kill them. The husband had a good alibi. He was in Oregon. He went there with their oldest son to visit colleges. He was cleared as a suspect. But was his alibi too convenient? Could he still be involved in some way? Could he have hired someone to commit this crime? A part of this story that I can't stop thinking about is that their youngest son, 13 years old at the time, was home at the time of his mother's demise. He was on the top floor while the unthinkable happened in the basement. I can't imagine the feelings that that poor boy was having after the fact. Did he hear anything? Did he know what happened? Could he have been involved? He was also questioned by police, but cleared. There seems to be more questions than answers. The situation got even stranger. Her husband received threatening text messages saying, "Your whole family is next." Was the killer really contacting him, or was this some part of an alibi? The police were helped out by neighbors' cameras. The horrific video showed a person wheeling a bag, it turned out to be a hockey bag, down the sidewalk. The video is really creepy and disturbing, knowing that her body was inside that bag. There may be some uncertainty about what she did that night, but it was reported she went to a show at the Lincoln Center. After that, she got on the train to head back to Forest Hills. At 11:20 p.m., she went to a bar. People said that she had her usual drink, a Moscow Mule, before going home. She supposedly left the bar around 12:20 a.m. We don't know if the killer showed up at her home unannounced or if they planned to meet, but we do find out later that the killer showed up to her house between 12:30 and 12:40 a.m. We don't know how, but the police focused their attention away from the family and towards someone else. Authorities find out that the family had a handyman for the house. His name was David Bonola. He was arrested 4 days after the grisly murder. Soon after, we find out that Orsolya and 44-year-old Bonola were having an affair off and on for 2 years. He confessed to killing her in a very heated argument. His confession was very matter-of-fact. He showed no remorse for the brutal killing of someone with whom he says he loved. And it was a really brutal killing. Orsolya had deep slashes on her hands. She fought for her life. Police say that her throat was slashed and she was stabbed 58 times on various parts of her body. He dismembered her and mercilessly stuffed her body in her son's own hockey bag. He said he didn't want the family to find the body. 7 months later, he took a plea deal and pled guilty to manslaughter. He was sentenced to 25 years behind bars on November 16th, 2022. But I feel like he deserved more than 25 years. So let's get into the mind of the killer. What I think happened is that they went into the basement of the home to talk without waking up her sleeping son. Orsolya tried to end things, and David went into a rage, killing his lover with a knife from her house. Something very eerie about this story is that a note was found on the fridge that read, "Get a new handyman." So did she tell him before he arrived that night that it was over, or was she planning to tell him that night in the basement? Did he come over because she ended things recently and he wanted to change her mind? Did he see that note on the fridge? Which I assume made him furious if he did in fact see it. Maybe he saw the note and then secretly grabbed a knife from the kitchen when they were going to go talk in the basement. Did he force her into the basement? There are many unanswered questions. It's easy to say that she was being punished. She was having an affair, sneaking around on her husband while he was out of town. She brought this man into her house while her son was sleeping upstairs. Certainly, these are not good things. You can definitely say she made mistakes. Maybe she had reasons, we don't know. But even if she had no good reason, she definitely did not deserve to die. And what about the murderer? Yes, he felt jilted. He thought he loved this woman, and she didn't love him back anymore. If he really loved her, how could he do that to her? Whatever anger you feel, how could you take a knife, stab someone almost 60 times, cut them up, and dispose of their body on the street like garbage? I think Orsolya, with whatever mistakes she made the biggest mistake of not understanding that she was involved with somebody capable of such horrible things. You would have thought that she might have been afraid even. You would think that she would know enough to meet him in public. You would think that she would know it wasn't safe to let him in her house, especially with her son sleeping upstairs. She must have trusted him. She must have thought that she could talk him down from a rage, like maybe she has done before. These were probably her biggest mistakes. So why do you think he felt the need to end this woman's life? Was it too much for him to let her live a life without him in it? Did he plan this, or did he snap when she tried to end the relationship? I feel like he must have not expected to kill her that night because he ended up putting her body in the son's duffel bag. David Benola took away a mother, daughter, wife, and friend to many. I feel so bad for her family. They are probably left with so many questions. She was an imperfect person, but none of us are perfect. She definitely didn't deserve to have her life taken from her. So thank you for watching True Crime with Laina. I hope you liked the video. Please like and subscribe if this interests you. I'm grateful always. Until next time.